Welcome to another stitch tutorial. I'm Atenas and this is Mode Bespoke. For today we have a requested video, so we're going to be working on the reverse Tunisian stitch. So let's get started. Alright, so we just begin with a slip knot and a chain. Now there's no multiples for this stitch, so you can make the chain as long as you want it to be. So I'm just going to work a nice short one here. There we go. Once you have your chain, we need to work a foundation row. For this foundation row, let me zoom in. We begin this like every other foundation row on the second stitch from your hook. And all you do is insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And you do this for every stitch of your chain. So here we cast on quickly. All right. And once you've cast on, you work a return pass. This is a regular return pass. So yarn over, pull through one, and then yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and you just continue the yarn over, pull through two until you have completed the entire row. And when you are left with just one loop on your hook, so once you've completed your foundation row, we're going to turn our work around and we're going to work in the back side of our Tunisian work. So you're going to have to work into the vertical stitches. So just like you can see the vertical stitches when you work on the front side of your work, you can see them also in the back, but they look a little bit different. So these are the vertical stitches in the back. So just like you do with a Tunisian simple stitch, we're going to work with the top loop only. So working into that second vertical stitch from your hook, this one's a lot easier to identify. So here's that first vertical stitch. You skip this one. You go into the second one. So you're going to insert your hook into the stitch, so just that top loop, yarn over, and cast on. So there's one. We do the same here in the second stitch, so just insert your hook behind that top loop, yarn over, and cast on. And you're going to repeat this in every stitch of your row. Go. So I'll just finish up these last 3 stitches quickly. There you go. There's the last stitch. And once you've cast on, you just work a regular return pass. So you're going to yarn over and pull through one, and then yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, until you are left with just one loop on your hook. And there we go. So it's going to create this little stitch right here. Alright, so now for the next row, just like when you crochet any other Tunisian stitch, that second row of your stitch just becomes a lot easier to see. So there's a lot more space here between the bottom of the stitch and the top. So when you turn your work around, you have the same. So it's a little more open and it's easier to see your vertical stitches. So just like we did in the last row, we're going to start on the second vertical stitch from the end, and you're going to insert your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. I'm going to go into the next stitch, and this is a lot easier to see when it's in front of you. I just have to hold my hands a little strange because I'm working around a tripod, but there's that vertical stitch. It's right there. Insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, and cast on. That's all there's to it. So this is a really, really simple stitch. The difficult part is identifying that back loop. You just have to get the hang of it. And if the work is right in front of you, it does become a lot easier to see it because you can just move it around and you'll be able to see the stitch. So once we have cast on one stitch for every one stitch of the row, we just complete a return pass. And that's it. I'm going to work on a few more rows just to show you what this stitch looks like after you've completed a few, and then we're going to work on the bind off. So there we go. I'll see you again in just a moment. So this is what the stitch looks like after several rows. Now for our bind off, we want to close up this top part of the stitches that they're all open right here. So to do that, we're going to work a row of single crochets in the back of our work. So using the same stitches that we used every time we cast on, we're going to do the same thing, only close them up as a single crochet. So turn your work around, and we're going to work into this second stitch. So you're going to insert your hook into the stitch, and then you yarn over and pull up a loop. Make sure you go through the entire stitch. There we go. Okay, now yarn over, and you're going to pull through both of these loops. So it's just a regular single crochet. And then we're going to repeat that in every stitch of the row. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then close the single crochet. So yarn over and pull through both loops. And then we do it again. So let me work a few more here and show you what that bind off looks like. And practice this stitch a bit. We are going to be using it for a blanket tutorial coming up here in just a few weeks. So practice this, get really comfortable with it, and you should be fine by the time we work on the blanket. So let me work this last one and I'll show you. This is about halfway. And there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I post videos every week. If you have a recommendation for a video that you'd like to see, or you have any kind of suggestions, just leave them down in the comments below. I'm happy to hear from you. Tune in next week for another stitch tutorial, and if you want to see the written instructions for this, you can go to my blog. I'll link it down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all again in the next tutorial.